Hi, peeps. I'm Auriel Grace, and this is a spiritual show. And this tonight is like a part two of last week. Last week we spoke about like floriography or flowers, right? Because it's May. So this week we're going to be talking about flowering trees. Now, the reason why everybody's like, oh, but this is a spiritual show. Why are you talking about trees and flowers? I'm talking about trees and flowers because they are a part of nature. And what is more spiritual than admiring the beauty of nature, of what grows all around us, right? So that's why we're talking about flowers. And I think I usually do this once a year anyway, talk about flowers and nature and fairies, because next week I'll be talking about fairies too, and how we can attract fairies, and what to do when they're in the house running rampant. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about this week, flowering trees. And I have some beautiful trees that I actually have taken pictures of while they were flowering. And so I'm going to share some of my pictures. Some of them I don't have pictures for, but I have other pictures for. So that's what we're doing. All right. So one of the great things about nature is that when we go out in nature, a lot of times we feel that feeling of wholeness or grounded and being centered. And so that's another reason why I want to encourage you to go out to nature, grow a garden. Um, if you can't grow like a garden in the ground, put some pots out and have a garden, because plants raise the resonance of the home and the house and the neighborhood. And so when we feel good about our homes, we feel good in our homes too. So it's like it's an energetic thing, right? Yeah. Okay. So before I start on the flowers, though, um, check out the meditation I did for Spiritual Communities Network. They have a YouTube channel and they have a Facebook channel, and you can see the meditation there. It's a chakra meditation. So check it out. Go like the Spiritual Communities page on Facebook and Instagram. It's cool. I might do some more meditations and stuff like that for them. All right. So for those of you who follow me on Facebook, you might have seen a post that says Amazon is increasing their book prices. Well, yes, they are. So the psychic story books, the series books, are $6.99 right now until June 10th. And then on June 10th, I'm going to be changing the prices to $9.99. It's something that Amazon's doing right now. And so wanted for those of you who want the books, who've been putting off buying the books, go buy the books for them. I'm working on the fifth one right now. It's a psychic story series book, Love, right? And I hope to have that one done by November, which would be awesome. All right. So that's what's going on with the Psychic Story series books. And you might see the prices go up also on some of your favorite authors as well, if they have books that are less than $9.99. Okay. And that's just the paperback books, right? The Kindle books, which I'm always encouraging you to get so we don't use paper, I think are going to be staying at $2.99. I think that's where they're at right now. Okay. All right. So check out my blog, Clarity 101. I'm blogging once a week right now. This summer, I'll be blogging more. So check that out. It's on the website, aurielgrace.net. And while there, sign up for the newsletter. Okay. All right, so now we're going to start um, talking about floriography. All right, so floriography has been around, it's an ancient thing. A lot of cultures actually have developed their own ideas and virtues about flowers, what virtues they have, what they have showed to us as humans, and also like can you eat them? Were they used as medicine? Um, why do people grow them? And so that's why we're going through these now. A lot of you like animal totems. Well, think of flowers as flower totems as well. And consider what you're putting in your garden. Okay. All right. So I love flowers. I'm always taking pictures of flowers. In fact, I was hanging off a brick wall the other day, taking some pictures of some magnolias. so, um, because I couldn't. The branches were too high. I'm short. I can't get to up there, even on my tippy toes. So I love taking pictures of flowers, and everywhere I go, I try to get at least one picture of a flower. Um, Last week I did um, a psychic tip for peace and harmony, and that included the cherry blossom tree. We'll talk more about the cherry blossom tree today. A lot of you have been pretty excited about cherry blossoms, and they are very beautiful. I love cherry blossom trees. All right, so what are your favorite flowering trees? What do you love? What flowers are your favorite ones? Let me know in the comments. Okay. All right. So the first tree we're going to talk about is this one. Just a second. Let me get the picture up. There it is. All right. We're going to go over here. These guys. All right. So these pretty flowers that I love, and they're all over downtown. um, and so downtown Greensboro, I'm sorry. And they're really pretty. They're the dogwood tree, and it's actually the dogwood tree is ancient. It's associated with the ancient goddess Hecate. Okay, and she is a Greek goddess of protection, magic, and his hidden wisdom. Some Native Americans chewed the bark to relieve headaches. Um, Historically, the bark was used to treat malaria, fevers, and nerve pain. Yeah. All right, so the dogwood tree is vibrant. It's beautiful. It symbolizes the end of winter and the beginning of new life, presenting joy and beauty. All right, and the white blossoms are often associated with purity, innocence, and perseverance. Because if you're a dogwood tree and you live north, you got to be able to persevere, right? Because it gets really cold. And so that's what the dogwood tree is about. Isn't it pretty? I just love those flowers. They're so symmetrical. Balance. I like balance. All right. So that is the dogwood tree. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to look at the magnolias. All right. So I was standing on a brick wall to get this picture because I couldn't find the other picture of my magnolias, the magnolia pictures that I have. But that is a magnolia that is just blooming. And then behind it, you'll see the other magnolias that are blooming. And magnolias are just so pretty, right? I love them because they're so glowy. Like whenever I see a magnolia, it seems to just glow. All right, so magnolias are among the oldest flowering plants with fossils dating back over 100 million years. Isn't that cool? So magnolia trees contribute to the health and the local ecosystems by attracting pollinators, providing shelter for wildlife, and improving soil quality. They're really good with attracting bees and butterflies, and yeah, so they're great. So if you can plant a magnolia, just know that the blooms will drop all over your yard. It's like a plumeria tree. And so you'll have to go out and rake up the petals and stuff like that. Okay. Just so you know. All right. So perseverance and endurance. Magnolias have existed for millions of years, symbolizing perseverance, endurance, femininity, thriving through all seasons, and retaining its beauty. So, and they do thrive through all seasons. You can see that they stay green pretty much. They shed, but they stay green and they're very beautiful. They really are. So even when there aren't flowers on them, they're still a really pretty tree because they have those great leaves on them. Very green, very pretty. All right. So this one, there we go. This is another magnolia. I can't remember the full name of this magnolia. I just call it purple magnolia. But purple magnolias represent luck and health. So we have different colors of magnolias. I've only got the pink or the purple and the white one. The pink magnolias symbolize friendship and youth, innocence and joy. Yellow magnolia symbolizes the sun, positivity and warmth. The green magnolia symbolizes joy, health, luck, and good fortune. So that's the magnolias. Yeah. All right. And then, here we go. This is the first time I'm using StreamYard this way. Okay. All right. So for those of you who love cherry blossoms, let's go here and take this down. There we go. This is a beautiful painting of cherry blossoms. And as we all know, there's some areas in the United States about this time that cherry blossoms are blooming and they're just so very beautiful, right? They're so delicate, and when they're blooming, like wow. And so this is this card. These are this is my reference, or the references for a lot of the flowers. It's this. It's a box of cards like this. And so I got it from Amazon. Great reference if you want to start learning floriography or about flowers. So the cherry blossom tree, who doesn't like it, represents peace and harmony. And their virtues of the cherry blossom tree, that's their virtues. Peace and harmony. Okay, so sorry, my allergies are driving me crazy. Being among the cherry blossoms, it's delightful and refreshing. And they're pink, right? Pink is great. It's the best color. All right. So the cherry blossom tree teaches us about impermanence and presence. To be present in a moment as change is inevitable. Having the ability to appreciate the beauty of nature. Because cherry blossom trees bloom for 2 weeks and then all the blooms start shedding, they start dropping. And that's what they teach us about impermanence and to be present so we can enjoy their beauty and enjoy the beauty all around, right? So Think about that when you're looking at flowers. Some flowers do that, you know, they're only blooming for a certain amount of time and they don't bloom again, right? So we can only enjoy them for that moment. So take those moments, be present, truly. All right. So the Japanese culture, cherry blossoms are deeply intertwined with the samurai code of Bushido, which emphasizes virtues like honor, courage, and loyalty. The samurai were seen as embodying these virtues while facing the inevitability of death. They symbolized by the falling cherry blossom. So remember that, okay? When you're looking at the cherry blossoms or any other flowers, take that time to really admire them. And if you get a picture of some cherry blossoms, you want to send it to me. Thank you. Okay. All right. So put her right here. Okay. So the next is the hawthorn tree. And the hawthorn tree is actually the May tree. It is a May flower tree. Okay. This tree is, and I only got the tippy toppies of it. Hold on. There we go. That is the top of the top of a hawthorn tree. So the hawthorn tree, like I said, it's the May tree, celebrated in May. And it is the Queen of Hearts, often associated with love, protection, and fertility. The hawthorn tree is revered in Celtic mythology as a sacred tree and guardian of fairies. Hawthorn is known as a fairy tree, with fairies residing under its branches as guardians. We must have a lot of fairies here in Grove because hawthorn trees are everywhere. And it really is quite striking. It's really pretty to be able to drive down the road and see all these flowering trees here. It really is. So hawthorn is a May tree celebrated during Beltane, a festival marking the beginning of spring and new beginnings. Hawthorn's association with the heart is prominent, both in its literal healing properties and its symbolic representation of emotions and courage. So hawthorn tree is linked to love and fertility, with its blossoms traditionally used to adorn brides and hung above doorways to increase fertility. So remember, fertility isn't just about like having babies. Fertility is about your whole life. How fertile is your life? Is it abundant? Um, is it beautiful? Do you enjoy it? You know, so think about the hawthorn tree. It's really pretty. I took these pictures when I was going grocery shopping. I was like, oh, look at that! Click. So they're really pretty. And this is the hawthorn tree, the Queen of Hearts. This tree is a fringe tree. I love this tree. This is the first time I've ever seen this tree was last year, and I took a picture of it. Um, and when you see it in person, it's so delicate. Really looks like it could it could break. Um, I didn't touch it, but I walked around it. I was like, wow, this is a really pretty tree. And it took my friend and I a couple minutes to figure out what we were looking at our phones trying to figure it out. But it's called a fringe tree. And doesn't that it looks like French, doesn't it? With fluff. I thought it was really pretty. Um, so this one isn't really that tall either. It's probably, I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe about 15 feet tall. Um, the French trees have very elegant flowers that look delicate, and they do look delicate. Flowers are frilly and fleecy. The French trees are great attractors for attracting pollinators and providing food for birds. Okay, so this is a great, and this tree, it's pretty resilient. So if you live north of North Carolina, you can probably grow a French tree if you want. So medicinal uses historically the root and the bark are used for liver or gallbladder conditions. So that's what they're used for. And that they're still used for that. I was looking it up. It's like pretty interesting. The Chinese French tree in particular is associated with protection and resilience. Like I said, I think this tree can grow North Carolina. It's pretty solid. It did, I mean, and what I mean by that is that some trees, when they start growing and they're still young, they look, they need to be held up. This tree had a pretty solid trunk. Um, and here's the other thing I found out about. I think I'm going to grow one of these in my yard. Is that it can grow anywhere. Like the soil can be bad. Once it's established, the soil can be bad. You don't have to water it. Blah blah blah. It's like anybody can grow this tree. Although I think it's soil, and I will water it. But it can also grow in direct and indirect sunlight. Now, this tree grows in direct sunlight. And its virtues are resilience and adaptability. So this tree it's just really beautiful, and the flowers were very abundant on it. I didn't see any flowers when I passed it the other day, though. So, but that is a French tree. All right. So this pink tree is standing next to the French tree. And isn't it pretty? Yeah, it is a pretty tree. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was trying to compare this to make sure. But if I'm wrong, let me know. Okay. So this is a crepe myrtle. All right. So people that I know in the South complain about crepe myrtles, but I don't. I think they're really pretty, and yeah, maybe their flowers fall, and you have to clean them up and stuff. But uh, they are brilliant trees, and they're really pretty trees. I love them. Like they're yummy. So crepe myrtles and myrtles. All right, so there's myrtle tree and crepe myrtle tree. The crepe myrtles are in the south here. I've seen more in the south than I actually have seen in the north. And they hold significant symbolic meaning, especially in ancient cultures where they are associated with love, fertility, and purity. Myrtles are sacred to Aphrodite and Venus. In Jewish mysticism, the myrtle is linked to the Garden of Eden and the Tree of Life. Crepe myrtles, the flowers are used as crowns for weddings and to decorate the temples or churches with. So, because they symbolize for a marriage, good luck and love during the wedding and afterwards. All right. So, um, myrtle trees have been associated with marriage, chastity, good luck, and prosperity in many different cultures, mostly around the Mediterranean. Ovid described Venus emerging from the sea holding a sprig of myrtle. So that, that connects her to crepe myrtles and myrtles. It's the tree of love. So, tree of life, myrtles are associated with the Kabbalistic tree of life, a symbol of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. Now, I couldn't find a reason why they are that, but I found that because I look up all kinds of different things for these to see what the tree symbol is in different cultures. Now, so these trees are also ancient trees, and they're very resilient. And if you wanted to grow these north of where you're at, um, I did talk about the magnolias. Yay! I'm so glad, Bonnie. I'm sorry you had trouble not logging in. Um, so yeah, well, actually, at the last tree, the crepe myrtle. Huh. Um, so what's your favorite tree, Bonnie? Um, because I'm going to be talking about a fairy. So this, let me change this out here. So let me go back this way, and I'm going to take this off. All right, cool. Okay, so we were talking about fairy trees and fairies. I hope you can do this pretty well. So tonight, this is the fairy of the night, because next week we're going to be talking more about fairies, and the different fairies that you can call into your garden, your home, to assist you with your house. Okay. So, but this is the fairy that I was like, what? Which one of you guys wants to be seen tonight? And so this fairy is the fairy who's kissed by pixies. And let me see if I can get this in good. All right. There she is. She got kissed by a bunch of pixies. Isn't she cute? Okay, we're going to look those up. Hold on just a second. All right. So this is the fairy who is kissed by pixies. And when you have the presence of this fairy in your life, it's encouraging and giving, it's encouraging you for giving and receiving love. All right. Understanding intimacy on all levels through all your relationships. So, intimacy isn't just about what guys and gals do, it's about other things as well, right? So, it's about like being intimate with your friends, being able to talk to them, open up to them, um, and not being afraid of just yourself, right? This fairy can help you understand and have fun with the depths of your relationships. So there it is. Isn't she cute? Isn't she lovely? I just think she's adorable. And this is the book, the Fairy Oracle book. That's where that card came from. So if you guys are interested in fairies, check out the Fairy Oracle book. It's I know it's on Amazon, but can't remember where I got this. I know I think I'm pretty sure I bought it, but I've had it for years. I have. All right. So, well, pine cones and pine trees. Okay, so hold on just a second. Let me look this up. But pine cones, I, I don't have any pine trees around here. But a friend of mine brought a pine cone back for me from Colorado. In fact, where I used to live. I still have it. It's in the fairy bowl. I should probably go get the fairy bowl for you guys. Um, I used to collect pine cones when I lived in Colorado because they're good for kindling, but they'll explode, so you have to be very careful with them, so that you don't catch everything else on because that's not good, right? Okay, so let me close this, and now, um, I have noticed that Google has really good, um, if you just put in, like, for example, pine trees virtues and search, you will see it's like all this information. So here's pine tree, Bonnie. Pine trees are often associated with virtues like longevity, resilience, and strength, stemming from their adaptability to harsh environments and their long lifespans. They also symbolize wisdom, peace, and fertility in various cultures. Oh yeah, I mean you can do all kinds of fun things with pine trees, like the boughs and everything. You can make some really cool stuff with them. Yeah. Okay, so Michael Ann, weeping willows. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so weeping willows, they're known for their graceful drooping branches, which can evoke feeling sadness or reflection, but also symbolize resilience and the cyclical nature of life. They're also valuable. Oh yeah, so they're really weeping willows are actually very good for erosion. They help hold the soil in. So their virtue is resilience and the cyclical nature of life. Yeah. And the medicinal use too. The bark and leaves have been used traditionally for various medicinal purposes, including treat fevers, rheumatism, and skin conditions. Hmm, cool. So I remember my one of my friends that lived in New Mexico, she used to go down to the weeping willows and she would get the branches and strip them and then soak them in water to make hoops. Or she used to make dream catchers, really big, humongous ones, to sell. And it took her a while to make the hoops, but watching her, she would bend them in a circle and put them in a tub of water, and when she would soak them for about a week and pull them out, and they would stay in the circle, and that's when she would um, do her winding. It was like watching her do it, like was confusing for me because I would be like, "Whoa," because she did it so really fast. Like she'd been doing it for years. It was pretty fun to watch her do that. No, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't even be able to start. But I just remember sitting with her while she did that. It was pretty cool. So if you want to go back and listen to the show again, I actually went over crepe myrtles, French trees, hawthorn trees, magnolias, cherry blossom trees, dogwood trees. So those are the trees that I covered tonight. Those are May trees. Those are trees that usually bloom in April or May, depending on, wetness and stuff, rain and that. So you can check those out. And next week we're going to be talking about fairies. So bring your fairy questions because that's going to be a really fun show. And I've already got some of it written out. All right. So I'm glad you joined me. Yeah, they're fun for crafts. You're right. So I'm glad you joined me. Have a wonderful, beautiful week. And remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of life. I'll see you next week. Bye.